back to the show, David Noakes. David, welcome back. How are you?
Hi, Richie. Yes, I'm fine. Can I start by just defining what GcMAF is?
That's always a good way to start. What exactly is it?
Right. Well, GcMAF is a human protein and a human right that we all make if we are healthy. And it can heal over 50 diseases, including tumour cancers. It has no side effects. There are over 200 scientists and 120 research papers on GcMAF, and Immunobiotech Limited, my company, has written 32 such GcMAF research papers, all peer-reviewed and published in the world's top scientific journals. GcMAF was discovered in 1990, and the medical world has been concealing it from you for the last 25 years, Richie.
Yeah. You and I, when we first spoke about this, we did the usual thing where we kind of batted back and forth about the clinical trials. And let me just ask you about the clinical trials, David, because you have supporters amongst our listeners. There's no doubt about that. Some of your supporters have said, I wonder, have the clinical trials conducted by the scientists that David has talked about in the past and by Immunobiotech, have those clinical trials, were they rushed, and were they maybe were they not conducted over a long enough time period, or did they not feature enough people? That's a question we always get asked about this.
We made GcMAF in our Cambridge laboratory. We had 4 excellent scientists. We put it through 9 tests. Every batch went through 9 tests. The sterility was always superb. The activity was always superb, and tested 3 times. And we've supplied, over the last 5 years, 10,000 people. And if that isn't a big enough number, then I don't know what would be.
Now, you did say to me on a previous programme, you said that in your time in Guernsey, you know of more than a dozen patients who had a particular form of cancer, whom were given GcMAF, took it willingly, and went into remission, and in fact were cured. Are any of those people speaking to the media, David, or any of those people coming forward to say, because I mean, if it was me and I had, a tumour or I had, some sort of cancer, and I was to take this product, I hate to call it a product because, as you said, it is a naturally occurring protein in the body, but if I was to take it and then get better, I'd be screaming from the rooftops about it.
We've got it into maybe 3 or 4 low circulation magazines. We've tried the Daily Mail in England, we've tried the Telegraph, we've tried a number of newspapers. Not one is interested on taking it up. So it's still in small circulation magazines. And
you've got to distribute it now from outside the UK, I believe, because I think I was right in the introduction in saying that the medical authorities here have basically prevented anybody from selling anything at all, where there are any claims made about cancer. They've shut them down here. Is that right?
Well, they raided our lab in Cambridge on the 28th of January 2015. They traumatized the 2 female scientists who were on duty for 10 hours, just asking them the same question over and over again. They couldn't work for 2 months afterwards. The trauma was so bad. They closed all our bank accounts illegally using the compliance system and the restraint order. They published 18 false statements on their government website about our sterility. It was fraudulent misrepresentation about our sterility. They committed perjury to get a restraint order against us. This is the MHRA. And you can read all of this on the website, mhracorrupt.st. 10 senior government bodies have written reports that state that the MHRA is corrupt, and nothing has been done about it. It seems the MHRA kills about 200,000 British people a year by directing them into poisons like chemotherapy, which don't work, According to the Journal of Clinical Oncology, chemotherapy has a 97.7% failure rate. And by concealing good, inexpensive treatments from people.
First time you and I spoke, I did the I suppose the objective thing, and I said to you, oh, you can't be telling people about chemotherapy. But of course I knew that you were right to say that in over 97% of the times it doesn't work, and it does unbelievable damage to cells in the body, living tissue, the brain. It really is terribly destructive. And touch wood that I never get the news from a doctor that I do have a tumour or some sort of cancer. I think it's easy to be brave now when I'm sitting here talking to you, but I think the last thing in the world I would want to do is to go through the radiation therapy. I would hate to do it. I've been asked to ask you by a lot of people today to comment on a video that's on YouTube, and it appears to be a video of a slide under a microscope that appears to show cells, presumably cancer cells, being attacked by the GcMAF protein and being destroyed by it. Is that genuine, David?
Yes, that's the test that we do on every batch. It's a brown video. So we put each batch through 9 tests. The first two are sterility, there are identification assays, and the last 3 are activity. And the last 2 is the ones that the people are talking about. So we take human breast cancer cells and put them in a petri dish with human immune system macrophages. Nothing happens. And then we add the GcMAF, the latest batch of GcMAF that we've just made. We do this every time we make a batch. And that activates the macrophages, and in 3 days, the macrophages eat all the cancer cells. And we filmed this on time-lapse photography, and we published it on YouTube, and it's also on the front page of the GcMAF.eu website.
I saw the video. In fact, I was sent it. I was sent it by JP in Manchester, and I looked at it and I thought, wow, if this is genuine, and you're telling me it is. Number of people